Full-time job scared the shit out of me. And I'm saying this after experiencing both freelance and full-time job in the span of my 10 years career. Initially, when I took the decision to do freelance because I wanted to own my own time, it was fine, but I won't say it was great because I wasn't getting any constant clients and I wasn't able to sustain that much. The only positive was that I was living with my parents, so I had no bills to pay. But I think that affected me negatively as well because I didn't have anything at stake. So I didn't work as much as I should have. After doing it for like 7 years, I transitioned into a full time job role where I got fired in like 2.5 months because I refused to stay over time. And my manager just was so pissed that she threw me out. Then again started doing freelance for an year before getting into my second full time job, which was a contractual job where I had the contract with this particular company for almost an year. And that was great. That had so many good people that I worked with. It was a very good learning experience as well. A lot of people are still in touch with me after like 2.5 years. So that was a great gig that I did. But after that, uh, for a year, I didn't do anything because I was going through so much in my life that I didn't do anything. I couldn't focus on my work or I couldn't focus on anything in my life. But obviously, I had the direction that I have to get out of it because I have to get to work again. And that's when I started applying for a full time job again. And I got my third job in November last year. It was great. It was the experience of that full time job was something that I couldn't have experienced in my freelance journey. And I'm so grateful for that. But when I got fired after almost 8 months in that job, I think that's a pattern that I can't full time job because 2 out of 3 jobs that I did, I was fired. That doesn't reflect who I am. It reflects that full time job isn't aligning with my values and my beliefs. But when I got fired, I had this time again to contemplate about where my life is going. Because as the time is passing, I have to make concrete decisions so that I can start living a life in that particular direction. Currently, I don't have any direction because I can either do a full time job, either can either do a business or a freelance. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. But that has to stop sometime because otherwise, if you don't have any direction, you won't give your 100%. But when I got fired and I had this 1 to 2 months window where I can think my life again, a lot of underlying issues resurfaced in my physical and mental health aspect. Because my job was so exhausting physically, I didn't realize it until I had time to relax, that my body was asking for some rest and some treatment because there were a lot of issues that resurfaced. And that's when I realized that my my physical and mental health can never take the back seat. It has to be prioritized and it has to outweigh any full-time job that I can get. So either I get a job that is very well balanced in my work-life balance and I can work on both of my personal and professional life. Or either I work my ass off in my freelance journey so that I can own my own time, which I always wanted. But full-time job had its own perks for me. Apart from the physical exhaustion, the pros were the financial stability and my social life, which also held in my mental health. Because at the time when I joined this job, my mental health wasn't that great. So I'm very grateful for this particular job and for the full-time job to get me back on track, my life on track in a lot of aspects in my life. But now, when I have got time to think about it, I have to make a fixed decision. The reason that I failed in my freelance journey was that I lacked accountability and I lacked discipline. In a full-time job setup, you always is accountable to some manager or your boss, and you are responsible for your own work. Otherwise, you will get fired. That wasn't the reason that I was get fired. That's a different story. But yes, so that is something that you have at stake so that you can do your job correctly. In freelance, I didn't have that self discipline to work with or self accountability to work with because I was still learning. That's not an excuse, but I was still learning, and that's what I've realized now that either I get disciplined, like I also wrote the solution to it is only uh, here discipline. If I can get into self discipline because I know my work is good, if I can get into self discipline and get clients and get the work done, I can own my own time. I can be location independent. That's what I always wanted. So either the trade offs of this conversation is that either I do a full time job and take my physical health for granted because I won't have time for it, but that will also help me with the financial stability and the social life and the mental health as well. Or the other side of the coin is I do the freelance job, but I have to be disciplined and accountable to my work every day. Being consistent is the most important thing when you are doing work for yourself. So these are the two options. Because if I do freelance, I will get the financial stability as well. If I get disciplined, I will get the location independence that I want. And I can own my own time because I have a lot of hobbies to explore and I can explore it when I get my own time. So the decision that I'm going to take here is I will start my freelance journey again and be disciplined every day and look for work every day until I get to a point where I don't have to take care or don't have to fetch for clients anymore. It might take 6 months, it might take a year, I don't know, I don't care. Because that's something that I really want because I can't take my physical health for granted anymore. A full-time job is not for me, might not for me. That's what I have learned from experience is that a full-time job has its own perks, but the downside is outweighing its perk. The only I'm restating it again because I'm also talking to myself while talking to you guys as well, that if if I don't want to work a full-time job, I have to get disciplined in my freelance journey and in my freelance work so that I can own my own time and do whatever I want. So I'm going to take my freelance journey very seriously. Although I'm still applying for full-time jobs, but I'm very particular about it this time because I'm seeing reviews on online and I'm not ignoring the bad reviews that the ex-employees or the anonymous employees have given that company, and I'm not applying to that particular company. If I get a job where I can own my own time, if I get a job where I am only working 9 to 5 and not 9 to 9, and I'm only working 5 days a week, not 6 days a week, I might consider that job as well because I'm also searching for it. But other than that, there are only these two metrics that has to be fulfilled. Otherwise, I am going all in my freelance journey because I'm still in the transition phase of my decision. I know what I want, but I'm still contemplating a full-time job. I don't have to, invest a lot of time in my particular day because in half an hour or 1 hour, I can search for jobs, full-time jobs, and be done with it. So it will take half an hour to 1 hour of my time from my day, and the rest 23 hours is all mine. Either I can work for freelance work, either I can find clients for freelance work, I can focus on my physical health, and I can own my own time. I can do whatever I want. So that's what I'm going to do this time because the full-time job scared the shit out of me. I hope that you got value out of this video and learn from experiences. And if you did, I am really grateful for that. Please comment down below your takeaway from these videos, because I am being vulnerable to you guys so that you can learn from experiences, and you might find these videos relatable, and you might feel that you are not alone in this journey. So if you did, please comment down below. It will really mean a lot to me, and I will definitely see you in the next video.